On ICEF Monitor, we had some articles about commodification. Can you share your thoughts about that?
I think the consensus is there's certainly a trend towards commodification in our industry. I think that a lot of industry players, schools, have some anxiety or fear behind whether that newfound power in the consumer is just looking to manifest itself with price pressure. But I think if you look at the spectrum of services in our industry, I think there's certain programs that lend themselves to commodification and others that don't. So I think what we might call the vanilla program, the 20-hour language program per week with host family, that one is relatively easy, lends itself to commoditization. But at the same time, there can be some opportunities there. When a product becomes simple like that, I think it makes it easier, for example, for online booking to occur. So that might be a sweet spot for online booking, which can be a good thing for some people that are looking to take advantage of that. But I think other programs in our industry really don't lend themselves to commodification. I think junior programs is an example where it's hard. That's a big decision. If you're a parent, you're sending your young child overseas to do a language program. It's not something that you're going to be looking very carefully at what the program offers. And certainly when it comes to higher education, the investment there, especially if you're going to study at a U.S. university, is big enough that I don't see that being a commodity.
What effort does standardization have?
Well, there's been some efforts to towards standardization. Right now, our industry uses a variety of different nomenclature. An intensive program at one school may not be the same number of hours as an intensive program in another school. Some centers have lessons that are 45 minutes long, other 15 minutes long, other 60 minutes long. So that actually makes it challenging for the consumer to make comparisons in price or understand. I think agents have come along also trying to simplify it for the market, especially when it comes to providing information on the internet and especially efforts towards online booking. And so they have gone in and changed and standardized for themselves programs to make it easier for the customer to decipher what the differences are between programs.
Our industry is a hybrid between education and travel. To what degree is the travel industry a metaphor for our industry?
That's a great question. I think because it's a hybrid, we look to those elements that are the travel piece, and we look to the hotel industry and online booking and those components as a metaphor. I think where it gets a little edgy is when we bring in the education component, and again, that goes back to the complexity of the programs or the price point of the programs, how well they lend themselves. Especially when we make those metaphors, typically it's about how they're marketed or how they're sold. So I think there is one segment, as I talked about, which where the commoditization is occurring, where I think there is a metaphor. I think there are examples. I think this latest effort towards developing a global distribution system, that's certainly just using that terminology shows that there's an effort there to use the travel industry as a metaphor and as a model for how we might conduct our business. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out and whether that education component to our industry, to what degree that creates an impediment for that to happen.
Jean-Marc, thank you so much for coming and sharing those insights. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much.